This video is all you need to become a motion designer in 2025. Hi, my name is Akash Goyal, motion designer with 7+ years of experience in the field. Over the last few years, I have worked with brands across industries, from startups to premium clients, creating motion design that's been seen by millions. I run a creative agency that specializes in branding and motion, and I mentor designers on how to turn their skills into a career. Now, I'm making this video specifically for a student, a freelancer, or an experienced designer who wants to learn, refine, or get good at motion design. And for those who cannot watch this video entirely till the end, will not be able to make till the top 1%. So this video will cover no fluff, no endless tools list, just the skills, process, and the right mindset that actually matters. Now let's start with what is motion design. It's really important to understand what exactly is motion design. Motion design is simply graphic design in motion. It's where the visuals meet time, rhythm, and storytelling. You have seen it in ad bumpers, explainer videos, app animations, title sequences, and even on social media content. Now here's the difference between motion design and animation. Animation is the big umbrella. It can be anything from cartoons to 3D films. Motion design is design driven and brand focused. It's about communicating ideas clearly and beautifully through movement. Now with that, we will start with the first step of understanding the motion design principles, which is important as these are not just rules, these are the foundations that separates amateurs from professionals. But here's the truth, if your design is weak, motion design won't save it. And if your motion is weak, then even the best designs will fall flat. That's why it's always important to learn the principles first. Now let's talk about the 12 principles of animation, the foundation of all believable movement. These came from traditional animations, but they apply perfectly to motion design as well. At first, we have squash and stretch. This gives a sense of weight and flexibility to objects. For example, in motion design as well, you might squash your logo slightly as it lands, then stretch it as it pops up. It feels more alive. Anticipation, a small movement before the main action that prepares the viewer's eye. For example, when you see a button dipping down slightly before expanding into a confirmation state. Then we have staging, presenting an idea so it's instantly clear. In motion design, that means not animating too many things at once. The viewer should know exactly where to look. Straight ahead and pose-to-pose action. Now there are two ways to animate. Straight ahead is frame by frame from start to finish, which is great for organic motion. Pose-to-pose on another hand is playing key positions first. Perfect for UI or logo reveals. Follow through and overlapping action. When the main object stops, secondary parts keep moving. Slow in and slow out, also called as easing. Object starts slow, speed up, and then slows down again. Arcs, most natural motion flows a curve, not a straight line. Even a simple icon moving corner to corner feels better with a slighted arc. Secondary action, an extra movement that supports the main action. For example, when a headline slides in, a subtle background texture could fade in to add depth. Timing, the number of frames that an action takes actually affects its feel. Fast timing feels snappy and energetic, slow timing feels calm and deliberate. Exaggeration, pushing an action slightly beyond realism to make it much more appealing. Solid drawing, in character animation this means believable volume and weight. In motion graphics, it's about designing assets with depth, perspective, and consistent proportions so they move convincingly. And at last we have appeal, making your animation visually interesting and engaging. In motion design, that's clean design, balanced composition, and movement that feels satisfying to watch. Now obviously you don't need to use all 12 in every project, but knowing them means you can choose the right ones for the right moment. And that's what separates the amateurs from the pros. Now comes another important part, which is what software to learn. As a motion designer, your core toolkit will most likely include After Effects, the industry standard software for 2D motion. Along with it, you at least need to learn the basics of Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. They all integrate well with each other and you need to learn them so as to create and prepare your assets and artworks for your motion design projects. For 3D, there is quite a lot of choice in the software you might want to use. Now, a few years ago, someone would have actually laughed at you if you would have said that I'm a 3D artist learning through Blender. However, now, Blender has come such a long way, and because it's free and open source, there are so many tutorials out there to help you get started with it. But we will come on to the learning things in just a moment. You also have the choice of Cinema 4D, which is also a huge fan favorite. It is used in a lot of 3D studies and is kind of an industry standard in some ways. Again, there's a plenty of resources and courses available to help you get started, including their own training manual. However, there's a downside to using this software as it can be quite pricey, particularly if you are paying monthly for it. Now the cream of the crop falls to Houdini. All of your favorite films with those crazy simulations, water, fire, and magic have probably been made on this software. But the real downside is the Houdini software has a learning curve which is very steep. It's actually node-based and has no hand-holding. So while it is extremely difficult to learn, it does offer the most potential and most control over your projects. Ultimately, the choice between Blender, Cinema 4D and Houdini will always come down to your own personal goals and the budget you have. But here's my advice. Learn one tool deeply before adding more. Now let's get to the next part on how you actually learn motion design and how you actually start making stuff. Let's start with college degrees. In my opinion, you absolutely do not need to go to a college to become a good motion designer. While pursuing a degree in motion design is certainly an option, it's not the only path. And for many people, it can be an expensive one. These days, there are so many high-quality courses, tutorials, and communities online that can actually help you build the same skills without taking on huge debt. In fact, much of what I use in my work today comes from a self-directed learning and real projects, not from a classroom. The key is choosing the right resources and committing to constant practice. At the end of the day, your career in motion design is built into two things: the quality of your work and the kind of person you are to work with. A degree can be one way to get there, but it's not the only way. If you decide not to go to the university, there are still plenty of places to learn. Most software packages actually offer free introductory training on their websites. A lot of people actually skip this, but it's one of the fastest ways to get up and running with the basics. Now, naturally, like most people, and like I did, you will probably head to YouTube next. There's also a huge range of tutorials and YouTube process videos included on my channel, so if you want more After Effects tips, make sure you subscribe. But here's the thing, after a while, you might notice gaps in your knowledge, or you will hit a skill ceiling with the random tutorials on YouTube. That's when it can start to feel like you are not progressing, and trust me, that's not a place you want to stay. So if you're starting from scratch, here's the exact process that I would recommend. Step 1. Learn design fundamentals, typography grids, color contrast, readability in motion. Step 2. Learn motion principles, easing, space, overshoot, anticipation, and a lot more. Step 3. Learn your main softwares, shortcuts, pre-comps, graph editors, parenting, everything included in basics. And step 4. Build systems, libraries, templates, sound catalogs, LUTs. This will save you a lot of time in future as well. Now that we are done with step recommendations, let me tell you some online resources that will help you a lot. The Future, GFX Mentor, Ben Marriott, Motion Design School's YouTube channel, School of Motion's blog. These all will help you with design and animation tutorials and to understand the process. The Future is more on how you turn your design hobby into an actual business. Websites like Behance and Dribbble are always a good source of inspiration. And there's also this website by the name Awards with 3 W's, which is actually a good source of inspiration when it comes to motion and design trends. And then we have courses. Well, there are tons of courses in the market for when you are actually ready to invest, but special ones from School of Motion and Motion Design School will help you accelerate your growth a lot. And don't learn in isolation. You can join various WhatsApp communities, Discord servers, and LinkedIn groups as well. Well, next topic is inspiration and reverse engineering. Now, inspiration is everywhere. Motion Grapher, Behance, Pinterest, Dribbble animation, everywhere. But here's the trick. Don't just watch. Pause and break down what you see. Try to guess how these animations are made. Recreate 3 to 5 seconds of these animations, and I can guarantee this reverse engineering will build your motion vocabulary faster than any tutorial. Up next, we have portfolio, one of the most important things every designer should have. As a motion designer, your portfolio is everything. It's not just about showcasing your work, it's also about creating an impression on someone who actually sees it. Now, you have multiple platforms to showcase your work, where you need to have at least 3 to 5 strong projects to start. Now, try dividing these projects into case studies, which starts from problem, then the process, and then the final output. Now try to keep your showreel under 60 seconds, but make it punchy. Open with your strongest work first. Now every motion designer has a great workflow, so you should too. This is mine and what we follow at the company which I'm running. First, researching the brief, understanding the project and collecting references. Second, sketching in wireframe, rough ideas first and build a storyboard. Third, understand the project goals and audience. Fourth, collect visual and motion references to create style frames and lock in the look. Fifth, animate in passes. Big moves first, details after. Work in iterations, then refine, and refine. Number 6, get feedback and make revisions. Always take a step back and check your work. And then number 7, final delivery, which is packing the files neatly and then presenting your work professionally. A structured process like this will save you hours of frustration and keep your work consistently high quality. Up next, we have something which I tell every motion designer to follow. Publish your work. Great animations sitting in a folder will not get you noticed. You need to put your work out there. Post where your audience actually hangs out, be it Instagram Reels, LinkedIn post, Behance, anywhere. You can also join creative challenges like 36 days of type or motion specific prompts. They push you, they get you visibility, and they also connect you with other designers. And here's the key, don't just post and disappear. engage, comment on other people's work as well, share projects you admire, build real connections. Because in this industry, opportunities come from relationships and not just uploads. Even a simple, well-organized portfolio site can make a huge difference for you. It shows how you take your craft seriously and makes it easy for the clients to reach you. Well folks, that was everything you need to get started to become a motion designer in 2025. If you are a beginner, do go through every single point that I talked about, take a note of it and learn from it. If you are already in this field, this video would have given you a good revision. And if you are an experienced person, you might have missed out something from this. So I hope this helps each and every one of you. And if it really did, don't forget to leave a like, because your free like is going to help me make future videos like this. That's all from me guys. I hope this video actually helped you, and if I missed out on something, do let me know in the comments and I will add that in the future videos. Remember, you don't become a motion designer by watching these videos, you become a motion designer by making them. Pick one idea from today, finish it within this week and publish it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe because we are just getting started.